More and more sponsor companies are actually outsourcing a lot of operational pieces to vendors. And the vendors are stepping up to go ahead and really be that partner that a lot of these companies need. And in doing so, the actual industry is evolving into much more of a partnership. Now, you still have every once in a while folks that don't realize that this is a partnership and believe that, they are the customer and that they're always right. And those are folks that could get into trouble rather quickly. So the key in this whole thing is really understanding that a partnership is both of you not only helping each other out, but looking out for each other. And that actually goes back to something else that I found is very important, which is great partnerships are actually based on trust. And one of the things that I actually put together, and this is through the help of a friend of mine, Tony Listorti, who does some wonderful work on creativity, innovation, and literally providing customer value and value propositions for customers. He and I had worked together for quite some time, and he's a wonderful person. If you get the chance, go ahead and check out his stuff as well. But what we talked about was what is it that actually you have to have in order to actually build trust. And what I came up with was the 5 C's. And Tony helped me with some of these C's, so I got to give him credit. The 5 C's from my perspective is consistency. That's the first C. Consistency means that you're going to do what you said you do. That when somebody walks into the office, they get exactly what they were expecting. When you deliver a product, when you deliver service, they get exactly what they were expecting. And it's okay to actually deliver better than they were expecting, but at least you should deliver what they were expecting. So without consistency, trust me, there is no trust. And the other thing that's interesting too is that if you have a situation where you're dealing with a peer or a leader who is inconsistent when you talk to them, sometimes actually getting extremely upset, sometimes staying calm, that's not a trustworthy environment. And a lot of folks won't actually say what's happening because they're afraid of the leader exploding. So after consistency comes competency. That's an easy one. You need to be good at what you do. You need to know as much of what you do as possible so that you can actually be competent and certainly understand everything that's going on so people can actually not just trust you but actually respect you. But that's a real balance, because the other thing is the number one cause of conflict, and this may shock you, is actually insecurity. And you'd be amazed at how many folks are insecure because they don't look stupid. Well, none of us like to look stupid, but the amazing thing is that we would very much like to be secure enough in what we know versus what we don't know. I've consistently told people I don't know this, and I am looking at you as an expert to teach me. If you walk into a situation and you say you don't know, and you go ahead and you open a dialogue up that says, I'd like to learn more, you'd be shocked at how quickly people will trust you. And that, interestingly enough, goes back to vulnerability. So vulnerability is one of the fastest ways to build trust. After competency comes commitment. Are you committed to your partner? Are you committed to your team? Are you committed to actually delivering a product or a service that actually makes a difference? And certainly your customer is going to be looking for that commitment. After that is character. Do you have the right character? These days, I hate to admit it, I'd like to be more shocked about some of the horrible things I see some companies and people doing, but in reality, sometimes ethics and integrity aren't as widespread as we'd like them to be. So, one of the best definitions I've heard of character is doing the right thing when no one's looking. That's that sense of, how were you raised, how did your parents raise you, how have your peers looked to you. You do the right thing no matter who's looking, and people really wind up trusting and respecting you. And the 5th C, amazingly, is clarity. Clarity really is just another way of actually saying not only is the message I'm delivering clear, but also clarity between partners. And that's really all about transparency. So when you come right down to it, I think it's really important that you go ahead and have that transparency, because that transparency really, when you come right down to it, builds trust, because people actually know what you're doing, people know what's ahead, people know what's been completed, and that's pretty important. The other great tip that I got in the past was literally in any problem, you're managing really 3 things. You know what those 3 things might be? If you guessed you're managing the problem, you're absolutely right. That's one of the three. But then the other thing is you're managing your customer, and you're also managing your management. Because if one of those two doesn't know what's going on, then you're not managing the problem well. Last but not least, with regards to lean, what I want to do is I want to leave you with 5 actuals to find waste. One is actually go to the workplace. Get out of the office, go down on the floor, go down where the work is being done, talk to the people. It's extremely important to find where there's waste and certainly where there's inefficiency. Actually engage the people doing the work. They're actually your experts. You can see actually is working out quite well. They're your experts, and therefore they're going to know. If you ask them, it's pretty impressive. Actually observe the process. Don't listen to somebody else and have them tell you what the process is. You really need to watch it yourself, because unfortunately in transferring the message you'd be shocked at how many times people don't get the message completely right. And then actually collect the data. Collect the data on what the situation is, collect the data on what the problems are, collect the data on what the metrics are, why the alarms are going off, and then finally actually define and understand the value stream. Which really means, are you constantly providing customer value, which should be way high. Customer value is your #1 perspective and goal. And then after that, it's okay to have some business value add. But you'd be shocked at how much non-value add some of our processes really bring to the table. And those are opportunities for us to improve them and go faster. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this little video blog. In the meantime, this is Steve Jacobs signing out. Until the next time I'm someplace else in the world, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and check out my website at Global BioPharm Solutions. Have a great day.